Welcome back to the capsON Sports Podcast. My name is Tyler Blumenstick, joined by a funny face making Nick Tobias, Anthony Mano, and Sam Meehan. We're back for the second episode of this 2021-2022 NFL season. Last episode, it's still up on our YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. If you want to check out our AFC conference win totals, do that. But today, we're going to be doing some NFC win totals. Next week, we're going to do some props and season awards. How you guys doing today?
Bro, wait, let me take a second here. We're talking football right now.
We are talking football.
Let's go.
It's a good
dude.
thing.
Let's go.
It's always great to talk some football. Feeling good. Shot an 82 today over at Shark River.
Oh, yeah. All right. Show off.
Okay. Feeling real nice. Feeling real good today. So
we're flying.
Loosey-goosey, Sam.
Yeah, feeling real nice and loosey. Ready to go.
All right, Stick, where do we want to start today, buddy?
I mean, you said never eat soggy waffles. I was gonna go east, north, south, and west, but never eat soggy waffles. You can't turn away from the acronyms like that.
But if we talk about soggy waffles, we're talking about the NFC North. If you look at the teams, those are some real soggy waffles.
They are, but acronyms are acronyms. So we have to start with the Chicago Bears, 7.5 win total. They have a pretty tough schedule. Their opponents for this year have a combined 55% win percentage from last year. Key additions, since I got ragged on last episode for this, I'm probably going to get ragged on for this because they're not necessarily key additions, but Andy Dalton and Marquise Goodwin. And they got some competition for Andy Dalton and a man named Justin Fields. I'm personally going to go under on this, both in my rooting interest because the Giants have the Bears' first round pick. And the Bears are just awful. They're just not good. Half decent defense, but not good. What do you guys think?
I totally agree. So looking at the schedule of the 17 games, I see 9 pretty easy losses there. And then really I only see 3 games in their schedule there that I'm seeing they should definitely win those games. And that's at home against Cincinnati, Detroit, and again at Detroit. The other 14 games in their schedule are either toss-ups or they should be losses. So unless Justin Fields turns out to be a beast right out of the gate and wins them a bunch of games, they're not getting to, 7 wins they have? 8. 7.5. There we go.
They're not getting close regardless.
Yeah, I think they could go maybe 6-11, 7-10, start creeping on that 7.5, but their schedule is so tough. So many tough games in there. Especially you got to play Green Bay twice, Minnesota twice. They're not going to be an easy team to play against either. So I think under is a very good play here.
I don't really know where to go with this.
Well, I see what your pick is here in our notes.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm not going to lie. I didn't even touch the picks in there. I couldn't even tell you if I have over or under in here, but I'm going to go under 7.5. I think the Bears are a play caller away from being a half decent football team. We kind of saw what Mitch Trubisky did last week to the Bears when he had, granted it was preseason, but he had an actual offensive play caller, someone who kind of drew up actual decent plays. And Trubisky actually played. And in Chicago, there's no real play caller. I don't think regardless of if it's Dalton or if it's Fields, it makes a difference because I think Dalton starts at least 7 games this year before they turn it over to Fields. And I think Fields is going to be handed a really shitty team in a really bad situation. I'm going to go under. I think the Bears are going to be bad. And I don't know. Bears are bad.
I'm going to go under too. I don't think it makes a difference though if Andy Dalton or Justin Fields starts here. I think Justin Fields probably gives you more upside just because of his ability to move the pocket around or, move around the pocket, make plays off schedule and, all that stuff that you kind of want from a quarterback now, especially in, play action, RPOs and, even designed runs for the guy. But I think, they're going to go with Andy Dalton off the rip because I think they're going to be in the same situation that we said last week that the Broncos are going to be in. They're going to rely on their defense and they're going to think they have enough on that offense where Andy Dalton can kind of try and drag them to the playoffs. But we saw what that kind of looked like last year with Dallas and it didn't look too pretty. It's different circumstances with, the offenses that he's running, but I don't see much inspiration coming out of Chicago here. So I think it's an easy under.
Well, so my thing is that the past 3 years, the Bears won 12 games in 2018, 8 games in 2019, and 8 games in 2020. Does an extra game in the schedule do anything for them? I don't know. I mean, the Bears have been unimpressive for the past, I think, century. And I don't think Trubisky is really too much, or I'm sorry, I don't think Dalton is any better or worse than Trubisky. And I think it's going to be close. I mean, I would stay away from this win total if everyone's going to put their money on it, because I think it actually might be close. Because I think the Bears are going to win some close games. We're talking win total. We're not talking against the spread, but I feel like the Bears are going to surprise a couple games, and it's going to really hurt your soul, especially towards the end of the year when they are going to be playing their starters and nobody else is going to be.
All right. Let's move on to the Detroit Lions. The win total's at 5, very low number. I think it's the lowest, honestly, in the entire league. They also have
Houston's lower.
Houston is?
Yeah. Houston's 5-2, I think.
Okay.
It's 4 for them as well.
Oh, it was 4. All right, whatever.
4.5. I mean, it's better than obviously.
I guess it depends on the juice in the book, no matter what you look. So, for strength of schedule, their opponents last year had a combined win percentage of 52.9%. It's good for 26th easiest, so 5th or 6th hardest in the draft. Yeah, it's pretty tough, especially for a really crappy Lions team. Penei Sewell was their first rounder this year, offensive tackle. Probably should be in Cincinnati, but that's a whole nother argument. They also did a nice little switcheroo here, sent Matt Stafford to LA, got Jared Goff back, added 2 receivers in Tyrell Williams and Brashad Perriman. So at this total of 5, I'm going to go under. They're usually a pesky team, so it kind of scares me a little bit. I definitely wouldn't touch this with my own money, but since we're on a podcast, I probably have to choose a side. So I'm going to go under. The only things that scare me are taking under on the Bears and the Lions because somebody's got to win both of those games. So it's tricky, but yeah, I'm going to stick with the under here. Unless they split, that would be best case scenario. So
they tie both games.
That's a great point.
So I'm looking at the schedule right now. There's 2 games here where I think they might have a possibility of winning. It's at home against Cincinnati and home against Philly. This schedule is straight out of hell. This is a very tough schedule. A lot of tough road games here. I don't think Jared Goff is as bad as he's, been around to be like, yeah, he's not good being a 1 overall pick. He's not going to be better, but he's not a terrible NFL quarterback. But it's still a step down from Matthew Stafford, and they couldn't win with him. So.
And they don't have a receiving core. Kenny Galladay's a giant. Marvin Jones is what? A jag? Like, come on.
Well, now you have TJ Hawkinson being triple teamed every possession. So
you can let Breshad run deep.
The defense can't stop a nosebleed. They stink. Like, it's obviously there's going to be games where you expect them to lose and they'll win, but 5 of them, I don't think so.
I guess we'll wait and see.
What year was it when they was it 0-16 in like 2011?
2008 or something?
2008? Wow. Okay.
That's a total guess. I have no idea, but I
was going to say 11.
We find you an answer right now.
Without even looking at that 08 whatever roster, I think this roster that they have here is comparable, combined with the first year coaching staff of
I was right, 2008.
Dan Campbell and Anthony Lynn, right, running that offense. I don't know if they're going to put Jared Goff in the same situations that made him look like a halfway decent quarterback as when he was under McVay. I mean, he's a quarterback that you're going to bring in there just to be like, hey, look, we have a quarterback, but at the end of the day, he's going to continue to lose games. I don't see much improvement from them. So I think 5.5 easy under.
I am going to play contrary here, and I'm going to go over. I think the Detroit Lions win exactly 6 games this year. I don't think they win any more. I don't think they win any less. They won 5.
Find me 6 wins in their schedule.
I don't have to, because it doesn't matter what it looks like now. We could revisit this halfway throughout the season, and then it'll be a completely different story.
Okay.
They won 5 games last year, and that was under an already shaky first year or second year, whatever, under Matt Patricia. Granted, I do think Stafford is a better quarterback than Goff. They both have 2 completely different play styles. I think the Detroit Lions want to run down the clock, and now they have both Jamal Williams and they have DeAndre Swift. And DeAndre Swift proved to be a very good running back last year. both in fantasy and on the field. Kenny Golladay was hurt almost all the year last year, and I think Marvin Jones is kind of just a second guy there. He's always been playing hurt too. I really don't think their offense has changed too much. If it has, I think it's worked out better for the Detroit Lions, because instead of being one-dimensional, that now they can play both sides. They can play both ways on offense, both in the running game and the passing game. Their defense, I agree, is trash. Maybe Jeff Okudah, the cornerback they took in the first round last year, takes a step, but I think they win 6 games. I think a big factor is Goff has always played better at home, and not only is he going to be better at home, but Detroit they play in a stadium, they play indoors, in an arena, whatever you want to call it, in a closed stadium. So I think that's going to help him a lot, especially late in the season, when instead of playing in the freezing cold. And so he's got Chicago, and he's got and Green Bay. He's got to play outside, and he plays inside for Minnesota and Detroit, which I think is a big help. Give me 6 wins exactly for the Detroit Lions. Give me a squeaky 6. A squeaky 6.
I like their wide receiver corps, but that's about it.
How could you say that?
Because I like Quintez Cephas. I liked him at Wisconsin. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I liked him at
Amon-Ra
USC.
St. Brown has been having a great preseason. He's having a great camp, and it's really I don't really judge too much on camp because it's really hard not to show out in camp. How do you not show out?
But Amon-Ra St. Brown was good in college. Like those USC teams are just.
So was Jamarcus Russell. He was good in college too. Turned out to be shit.
Johnny Manziel.
And they won 5. They won 5 games last year against Arizona, which that's a solid team. Then they beat Jacksonville, Atlanta, Washington, and Chicago. Those are their 5 wins last season.
Can I ask you a question, Mano? So on our little spreadsheet over here that we have going for notes, if I put Quintez Cephas as a notable addition, would I get shit for it?
No,
I'll give you shit for it.
Not for me. I like Quintez Cephas.
Quintez Cephas, don't sleep on the board.
Hey,
I'm all
the
for
Detroit
him, but he's
Lions
not a number
would
one
dominate
receiver.
a metaphorical AA of NFL. So
It's a fair point.
Their number 1 receiver is Tyrell Williams, so I don't think they have a number 1 receiver.
that's a very good number 3 receiver.
Tyrell Williams isn't awful.
He's a very good 3.
Okay, yeah.
The Giants have had 3 number 3s for the last 5 years.
Hey, they got some talent now. So
now they do, but what did they do then? Under,
let's go to Detroit.
Under for the Lions.
let's move on. Let's go to Green Bay.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to Green Bay. The win total's at 11. They have the 29th easiest schedule, 54.2% opponent win percentage from 2020. They grabbed Eric Stokes, a cornerback, in the draft. It really hasn't been much news. They re-signed Aaron Jones, which is good.
I mean, Rodgers is still there, which that's pretty big.
Rodgers is still there, so that is like literally the only win that the Green Bay front office needed, was to just keep him happy enough, which he probably might not even be still happy, but who the hell knows? I don't think he is.
I mean, last year proved that I think angry Rodgers is the best form of Rodgers. So
I agree.
I think he's still not exactly happy.
No.
So,
but as long as he has the ball and Devontae Adams is still lining up on the outside, I think he's going to be A-okay. And for that reason, I think he's going to be A-okay, and I'm going to have to go over here. 11 wins, I just think is way too low. They're going to beat up on the Bears. They're going to beat up on the Lions. That's 4 wins right there. The Vikings, they always take a game at least from them. There's 5 wins. And then you got to just squeak out a couple others. And the whole rest of the schedule, you get the extra game for the 17 game season. And yeah, I could see them winning 12, 13 games this year, probably. Even 11 for the
Packers
push.
won 13. They won 13 games the past 2 years, and then they won 9 the year before.
Okay.
I think this is an easy over. This is a Aaron Rodgers revenge season where he's going to show why didn't you pay me money? Why didn't you help me out? This is why you should give me a good team, because I'm going to win as many games as possible.
What the hell was last year?
13. Oh. What point did last year? I don't know, but apparently
that was the point he made last year. Was he going to do? He's going to do it again. I agree with you. I think he's going to do it again.
He's going to do it again. I think he's going to do it. I do. The point this year, I guess, is listen. This is my last hurrah. I think he ends up leaving Green Bay unless they give him all the money or they do something else that blows my mind.
I think he's out anyways.
But I think he's out anyway, and
he wants decision-making power, right? And that's just something that's not given in the NFL. Like in the NBA, like you're Kevin Durant's, your LeBron James, your Steph Curry's, like those guys have deciding power. In the NFL, other than Tom Brady, it doesn't happen that much. So like it's going to be whether or not the upper management in Green Bay wants to let him make decisions. And they kind of already did. They traded again for Randall Cobb, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Right. So, I mean, is that a needle mover? No. But if he comes in one day and is like, yo, get me, I don't know, who's disgruntled, like, give me Michael Thomas or something like that. Like, are they going to be like, yeah, okay, Aaron, let's go get Michael Thomas? Or are they going to be like, nah, you're pushing it? You know what I mean? So irrelevant, but I think this is a big time, another prove it year for him. You're right. If it's going to be like, do it again, I'm still, 36 years old and I'm going to go out and
Bro, and their team is good. Their defense is good. Their offense is fantastic. I mean, AJ Dillon's an absolute unit. I don't really like Aaron Jones that much. I don't think Aaron Jones is that great of a running back. I think he just does the job. I don't think they should have paid him the amount that they paid him.
Sure. If they didn't pay him, Aaron Rodgers was gone, sitting out, gonzo.
Okay, well then, yeah, you have to pay him, but I don't think he really deserved all that money. But give him 13 wins again this year. Are you kidding me? Is that a joke?
That's easy. Yeah, so of the 17 games, like I'm looking at the schedule, 10, I would say definite wins in that schedule. And only 2 games I could see as likely losses, and that's at Baltimore and at Kansas City. Other than that, of the 5 remaining games where I qualify them as toss-ups, I think Aaron Rodgers gets you at least 2 of those 5 games, if not all 5. But yeah, I think over 11 is very easy. So if Rodgers can win, say, 2 or 3 of those, tighter games on the road and all that, they'll hit 11, no problem. And yeah, give them 5 division wins because they're gonna sweep Chicago and Detroit, and if they don't sweep, also Giancarlo home run. I'm sorry, I had that in the background, but yeah, even if they split Minnesota, it's 5 wins right there. So easy 11 wins for Green Bay.
All right, is that it? Everybody went?
I'm aboard the overtrain as well. I don't know if it was specified, but
Alrighty, we're gonna move on to the Minnesota Vikings. We got an 8.5 win total. Also a hard schedule. So the entire North is pretty much playing a really hard schedule.
They just said go fuck the NFC North because they got the hard end of the stick.
I guess so. 28.
That's Mano's dogs.
Well, that's my dog going nuts right now.
So where the heck did Mano go? All right, regardless.
All right, so Minnesota Vikings, bro.
They picked up Christian Darrisaw, offensive
lineman. Dude, Christian Darrisaw.
In the draft in the first round. Notable additions, they got Pat Pete and Xavier Woods to get in the secondary there. I don't know what Nick's doing. Was it VT?
Yes, sir.
VT, baby.
Yes, sir. Little Christian
Darrisaw.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Real quick, before I even make my pick and throw it back to you guys, let me just take a quick look at the Minnesota Vikings schedule. So I said the total was 8.5. You look at the Minnesota Vikings schedule, and what do I see here in week 8, week 14, week 15, and week 17? Primetime, Kirk Cousins. So it's 4 losses. It's 4 losses.
Good point.
It's 4 losses.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go still over, even if they lose everything in prime time, which would be really, really bad if they did. Those games actually are against Dallas, which I think is winnable for Minnesota. Pittsburgh could be winnable. It's home.
Pittsburgh stinks.
In Chicago, they can win that game too. And then at Green Bay, there's no shot in hell Kirk Cousins wins that game on Aaron Rodgers' home turf. But, I mean, I think they can get 9 wins. 9 and 8, I feel like, is a very mediocre season, and it's very possible for a Vikings team that has a really good running game. Dalvin Cook can take over games. He'll probably go for 200 once or twice, maybe. Close to it, at least, if he doesn't break it. But, yeah, I think they can get the wins against the Lions, the Bears, even with a tougher schedule. But whatever. That was a good one. There you go. No, but you look at their schedule. Cincinnati. You have a game against Detroit, so that's 2 wins right there. They can beat Carolina. They can beat Dallas. That's 4. They can beat the Chargers. That's 5. They can beat the Niners. I think that's 6. 7. Detroit. I don't know, actually. This is kind of getting a little tricky now that I go down the schedule. But regardless, what do you guys think?
This is definitely very tough. like what I do with every team's schedule, I just put every team either has expected wins, expected losses, and then toss ups. For the Minnesota, I have them at 4 wins, 3 losses, and then 10 games where it could see it either way, including like home against the Rams, home against the Steelers, even home against Green Bay and Dallas, Cleveland, Seattle, Arizona, like all these games that, they're not a bad team. I think last year they were more underperformed than anything. So Cousins is solid, but I think it's all about Dalvin Cook. If Minnesota can dominate possession and get 35 to 40 minutes a game, like just running the ball in people's throats, they have a good enough defense where I think they can win some games. And call me crazy, but I think they can make a little noise and scare Green Bay a little bit at the top of the division, but I don't think they get it. But, I could see them winning 10, 11 games even. So I'm going to go with over 9.
I think they have one of the best defenses in football.
Ever seen Griffin Bath? Get a little,
yeah,
that mojo going.
Even without him, this is a team that has Danielle Hunter on the end, Dalvin Tomlinson in the middle, coming from the Giants, Michael Pierce, Steve Weatherly. They have their linebackers and Anthony Bard. They just brought in fucking Patrick Peterson, Rashad Breeland.
Rashad Breeland is trash.
He's a solid number 2 corner, right? And they have Cam Dantzler, who was a pretty solid cornerback at Mississippi State, and then was kind of stuck behind on the depth chart a little bit. Had his little bit of rookie woes, but as the number 1, I guess the president and CEO of the Kirk Cousins Hatred Club, yeah. It's tough. It's tough to pick the over, but I gotta. It's tough to put support into Kirk Cousins, but I think this team around him is pretty good. I think they're probably a 10-win team.
I'm on Mano's side. Over the past 7 years, they've won anywhere between 7 to 13 games. And over the past 3, they've won an average of 8.5. So I guess this line at 8.5 is right on the money. But I think what really kind of matters is the stability that the coaching staff and the front office that Minnesota has, and what kind of team they've had over the past couple of years. Granted, you lose Stephon Diggs, but Justin Jefferson is clearly just as good, if not better, fill-in than Stephon Diggs. A little bit of a bigger body, can make plays down the field, short. You got Thielen, who's Thielen. I mean, Thielen's already made a name for himself. Tight end wise, you got Irv Smith Jr., who I guess he finally has an opportunity to break out. Kyle Rudolph's finally off that team. Stick touched on Dalvin Cook, and the defense I don't think is great, but I think it's definitely a viable defense, and it's the Vikings. They're always going to have a decent defense, especially at home. I think they win about 9 games this year, at the most 10. But I think a 9-8 season is very realistic, and I think a 10-7 season is a successful season for the Minnesota Vikings, and I think they get there absolutely.
All right,
Skull baby.
I don't remember if I said it, but I'm going over as well.
Over club, choo choo.
A lot of agreement so far on the across the board.
I feel like the NFC is a little bit easier to look at than the AFC.
It definitely is.
Oh, there's definitely some in there where we're going to get a little hostile. I feel like there
hasn't been as much turnover in the NFC, so it's kind of looking at the same thing that you're looking at last year, where, it's just maybe a new coach or a couple new wrinkles or, a player here and there to kind of, supplement what you already had.
All right, what do we have next on the block?
Never eat soggy waffles, so we're eating now. We're going to the East. Dallas Cowboys are going to
Oh, boy, here it comes.
First team we're going over. So they have the highest total in the entire division of 9.5 wins. They have the second easiest schedule in the league behind also. We're going to get to them in a second, but the Eagles have the easiest schedule. For the Cowboys, they added Micah Parsons in this year's first round. They added Keanu Neal and DeMonte Kazee. I mean, I know for a fact Neal is in the secondary, and I'm pretty sure Kazee is in the secondary as well, but Nick made me second guess before we started recording.
Who the hell is this guy, dude? Who the hell is this
DeMonte
guy?
Kazee? He's a cornerback. I know it. You're going to still make me look it up.
Yeah, because you don't even know who this guy is.
He's number 27. He's very obviously a defensive back. 5'11", 174, in case you wanted to know.
I just want to know who this guy is. Who's he played for? Who is he?
He was on the Falcons.
And how was their defense last year?
It's a notable addition because the Cowboys secondary is El Garbage. So
okay, Dan Quinn. What we were saying is Dan Quinn went from a really bad defense in Atlanta to let me take some of my bad players with me. Oh, over to a bad defense in Dallas. Let's see how we do.
Look, I'm hoping it's bad, but I mean, what I'm going to do, and I don't really want to do it, they're going to go over 9.5 wins here. This is going to be a bad division. I think the only two teams that are really going to have a shot are the Cowboys and the Giants. The Eagles are going to be bad. The Redskins, football team are going to be bad.
Watch your mouth.
Come on, dude.
Every single time we've talked about it, it's going to take some time to get used to, but whatever.
We're going to kick you out of this. If you're going to
just think, what do you think when you watch the football team? You think, what the fuck? And it's their initials are kind of close enough.
I like that. So that's a good one.
Just think of that and you're good.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to touch too much on the football team here.
Oh my God, dude.
Well, we'll wait till it. So let's keep on Dallas, right?
I'm going to go over. I think with Dak Prescott returning, that receiving course still scares the living hell out of me. Amari Cooper is going to keep taking steps forward, even though he didn't really take one last year. But I mean, he's still a good receiver.
When you have Dalton and Ben DiNucci throwing to you most of this season, you're not going to do much.
Exactly.
Like prior to the injury, Dak Prescott was on track for close to 6,000 yards. He's going to shatter every record.
Dude, he was my fantasy quarterback. I lost him.
Oh, me too. Don't get me wrong. And I had Amari Cooper as well, and they both just I went from 5-0 to barely into the playoffs. It was dog shit. But
pretty much that's how it goes.
Yeah, their defense is certified dog shit, but that offense is incredible. They're going to score if say healthy, obviously, they're going to score a lot of points this season, borderline record-breaking pace. But I mean, that's why I don't think they do anything to playoff wise, because that defense is bad, and also with a favorable schedule, 9 wins, yeah, easy. I think 9-8, 10-7 is going to be their season. So I think over is a good play. It's a matter of winning those close games where they can really push through to get a good top seed. But yeah, I think it's between. I mean, you said between the Giants and the Cowboys. I think the football team is also very well in the division because that defense is scary, but I think that offense alone can get them 9 wins.
What was it at? 9.5?
9.5. Where are you, man? Because I know where I'm at.
I got 9 even, but yeah, 9.5 either way.
I got to go under.
Yeah!
I think it's not to say that this is a bad football team, right? But I don't think they're a 10-win football team. That offense is going to put up numbers, but if the defense can't stop, like you said, can't stop a nosebleed, then, what are we doing here? Then it's essentially, it's pretty much the same thing as they were doing last year, just with a better quarterback. So, more potential for points, but we don't even know if Dak Prescott, they say Dak Prescott's going to be ready, but Adam Schefter said he might not be ready. I'm more inclined to believe Adam Schefter than I am to believe Jerry Jones and whatever he's pumping internally.
Ding, ding,
but Jerry Jones is always so honest and straightforward and so great at his job.
Let me get the Febreze.
He says with sarcasm.
It smells like bologna. Let me get the
Febreze. But since it's Dallas, right? Dallas, I mean, say what you want, America's team, right? You're paying that extra, maybe win or two because it's Dallas. They know people are going to bet on Dallas. It's kind of the same thing as the Yankees. Teams are going to bet on the Yankees, so the numbers are kind of inflated in that sense. And that's where the sports books know they can make their money on it. So, I mean, it's not to say that they're a bad team. I just think 9.5 in a tight division where it's pretty much all universally bad is tough to come by. Dak Prescott's a 500 quarterback when he's not playing the NFC East. I'm just going to throw that out there. But
thank you.
Just do with that information what you do, what you want.
All right, so I'm going to piggyback off of Mano because I'm on the under as well. I think Mano, you highlighted Dak Prescott's health. And I think that's a big factor because obviously he came off of a gruesome, ankle injury last year, and the shoulder injury's been lingering, which
they're covering it on Hard Knocks. That's a big deal.
It's a big time shoulder thing, and they're saying it's shoulder soreness that's supposed to never go away. Their offensive line isn't as good as it used to be. Not only that, but now you're adding an extra game to the season, so it's an extra game for him to get banged up on. So now if Dak Prescott's having to throw in games to throw, you're throwing from behind, you're throwing to keep up because your defense is so bad, more opportunities for the blitz, more opportunities get hit. I think this whole season rides on Dak Prescott's health. And I think because he's only going to be 75%-ish, 80% as opposed to 100, I think this offense is going to take a big hit. I don't think Amari Cooper's good, but he never shows up when he has to.
Oh, he's a dog.
I think CeeDee Lamb's going to regress. I think he had a great season last year, but I think he's going to regress. And Ezekiel Elliott just isn't who he was when he was a rookie. I just don't really believe in the Dallas Cowboys this year. And I think Mano made a good point where this is something where they're America's team, where they're making you try to buy these extra wins to get you to fish. But I think the NFC East is going to be the NFC least again this year. I think it's going to be an awful division. I think, you can expect 10 wins out of the Washington football team, but that's about it at most.
Expect 10? You're nuts.
Yeah. But, I'm taking the under for Cowboys. I don't believe in them this year. I think there's just too much uncertainty. And I think I checked MGM, under 9.5 for the Cowboys this year is plus 125. And I would rather take plus 125 than minus 150 on the over, because I think there's a better chance that they go under.
So, I actually switched mine to under as you were speaking.
Here it goes. Man, but
there's a few points where it comes like saying how much Zeke regressed. Like prior to Dak's injury, Zeke was, at least fantasy wise, the fourth best running back in the NFL.
Well, he also had the NFL line. Tony Pollard has proven to be almost as good, if not better, than a running back than Ezekiel Elliott. And I know Mano touched on it last episode. Oh, you don't need a running back. All right, I'm not going to get a harp on that.
Oh, yeah, Mano hates running backs.
He does, but Tony Pollard proved to be a decent running back last year. I would rather.
I agree with Mano. Like with the exception of a few guys, like a running back's not that important. Like there's obviously some electric dudes out there, but for the most part, no. But yeah, with the uncertainty with Dak, I'm switching to the under. So
thank you.
Just because also under 9.5, my own spreadsheet, I had 9 even. 9.5 under, especially at plus money, I'll take that. So
yeah,
little switcheroo.
I sit on the plus money there. I think you're better off.
Also that the plus money, can't hurt.
All right, Psyche. Oh God, here we go.
I'm staying over.
Here it comes.
But yeah, here we go.
There is no bias in this next team whatsoever.
Well, there absolutely is. I see three O words over here, but I'm not going to spoil the secret. We're going on to the New York Giants. 7-win set by Vegas, or 7 wins rather. 8 on the strength of schedule rating. So the eighth easiest schedule. Not as easy as the Cowboys or the Eagles, but definitely easier than the football team. Let me ask you something
real quick. That gets weighted down because they all suck, right? All the NFC East teams are terrible, so they all play each other. Right, That's what's weighing those down a little bit.
Probably,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, but also like the divisions that we play. Who do we play? The NFC South, which had some shitty teams last season. Actually, AFC West is nice, but actually outside of KC last season, the AFC West was not great record wise. But again, you expect the Chargers to be better.
Who are we talking about right now, Stick?
Talking about the New York Giants. They added Kadarius Toney in the first round this year. Also in free agency, added Kenny Golladay, Adoree Jackson for the secondary, as well as Kyle Rudolph to back up Popcorn Hands Evan Ingram.
Wow.
I would say switch that around real quick because probably run a lot of 2 tight end sets coming up. Hopefully,
fine. But regardless, one tight end sets.
Regardless, I think
Ingram's going to be out there.
They can get more creative with Evan Ingram now. Let's put him out wide, put him in the backfield. Like get creative. But this is also Jason Garrett we're talking about here. So.
I've been the biggest Evan Ingram apologist.
Why? Why you?
I love Ingram.
I like him. I do. Stop.
His upside's
strong
good.
word. I like Evan Ingram, and I think he has potential.
I know I've talked about this in conversation with people before, especially probably Mano and Stick, and probably our friend Zach too. Evan Ingram is the person to go to another team and become an all-pro wide.
Of course it is. So why can't he do it here? Just unlock it. Just get it out.
Stick. Okay, let me put this in perspective for you. What happens with people who wear the Mets jersey? They're bad. And what happens when they take off the Mets jersey? They're good. Okay, it's the same thing with Evan Ingram and the Giants.
The Giants are not the fucking Mets, bud. We've actually won shit in our lifetime.
The Mets have won stuff in our life. Well, not in our life.
What, an NL pennant?
No, they have not. They went to it.
Duda hit the backstop.
They went to the World Series our freshman year, Nick.
All right.
But
Hostility.
I think Kyle Rudolph could really be a very good thing for Evan Ingram because they could kind of get creative with him. Put him in a slot, split him out wide, put him out of the fucking backfield as like a fullback, like bullshit, whatever the fuck you want to do. There's a lot more you can do with Evan Ingram with a legit tight end in Kyle Rudolph who can block, who doesn't drop shit also. So, I mean, this is a big year for Daniel Jones. This is a kind of hey, this is your chance. If you do not perform this season, then take a hike because there's no more excuses for no weapons for Daniel Jones because he has one of the better wide receiver, tight end, running back cores you could find in the NFL. So the line isn't great, but it's not as bad as we've had in past seasons. Hopefully Andrew Thomas takes a step and all that. So, but the big thing with this team is that defense. The Giants have a potentially very good defense. I mean, Patrick Graham staying around is going to be huge for this team. And what is 7 is their total?
Literally 7. Yeah.
I think they can get 8 wins, if not more.
Call me crazy. They're going to get 11 or 12.
I was thinking they're either getting 11 or 12 or they're getting 4. There's no in between.
11 or 12.
See what I'm
okay. So the Giants will go 17-0. No, but I think over 7 actually. Over 7 is a fairly confident bet for me with the Giants.
I am going to go under. I love the Giants.
Here's the balloon. Here's Nick.
I'm gonna pop the balloon. I am one of the I don't like Daniel Jones. I never really have, and I never really will. I just don't think that listen, I just don't think he has what it takes to take this Giants team to the next level that they need to go. I think their offense is going to be subpar. Jason Garrett is calling the plays, which should tell you a lot about how the Giants season is going to go, especially offensively. Yes, their defense can hold somebody to 14, 20 points a game, but the Giants are only going to score maybe 10, 13. So what is that going to do for you? Nothing. I think it's a very lackluster season for the Giants. I am not expecting much. So if I go under and they hit the over, then wow,
You're such an angry person. You're so angry.
I'm not an angry person. I'm being realistic. The Giants aren't that good of a team. If you're putting your trust in Daniel Jones, then I think you're mistaking yourself.
Dude, all right. So I say this all the time about the Giants. It's not all about Daniel Jones. I think.
Dude, are you telling me it's not all about the quarterback?
It's not all about Daniel Jones. I think he's a very capable quarterback, and we're going to see it this year. And you're going to put your foot in your mouth. That's what's going to happen.
Who takes every offensive snap?
Look, Saquon's been out. We now have Saquon back. You use Saquon correctly. You put him out in space. You have him as a threat.
Who's calling plays?
Someone's going to call plays. And Jason Garrett called a half-decent offense last year with a really, really banged up.
How many wins did they have last year?
Statistically, the worst.
6.
They shouldn't
6 wins.
Last in the league.
The total's at 7 here. Now they have Kadarius Toney. They have Kenny Galladay. They're getting Saquon back. I don't know what to tell you.
Too many weapons to throw to.
Look. If you can take Saquon, you can swing him out for either bubble pass, or you can keep defenses honest by literal straight up handoff because he's a running back, and that's what running backs do. We now have Kadarius Toney. If the guy's ever healthy and now plays, I don't know if they're just sandbagging or something, but I don't know what's going on. He's not hurt, but he's another shifty guy like that you can use in the slot. You can move him around. If those two guys can be used to get out into space and create mismatches, it's going to make Daniel Jones' job a lot easier. And now he has Kenny Galladay. I mean, look, maybe not a true number one receiver, but a guy who's right there and has the potential to definitely take that leap over into being a number one guy. If Daniel Jones can just put the ball on the numbers and not throw to practice squad linebackers, I think we'll be good. I think that was probably just an honest mistake, and it got blown up.
He gets confused. It's just its own team jersey,
I don't blame him one bit for that.
Oh, quarterback.
I think the big
smart decision.
He's got legs.
I think the biggest thing I think with the offense,
I got
don't
two
move
legs.
as fast as him.
How do you know?
Sammy, go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. With versatility wise, that's what makes Kyle Rudolph signing so much bigger.
Kyle Rudolph was only going to do something in the red zone if we even get there.
Yeah, but the thing is that even driving through, you can get so creative with Evan Ingram, with Saquon, with all these electric people, and Daniel Jones. You don't tell me don't get me wrong, he's made some fucking dumb mistakes, but don't tell me when he looks good, he doesn't look fucking incredible at times.
He does, and we lived through.
And
what,
he's 24 years old, Nick.
Mano, slap some sense into these folks, please.
I don't even want to hear.
Let's
Mano's
stop
gonna
acting
bring
like
the
guys'
mood
careers
down.
are over after 2 shitty seasons.
Three.
Dude, he's played 27 career games in the NFL. 27.
Yeah, that's 2 fucking seasons, Nick.
It's not even 2 seasons.
This
It's
is
less.
this is season 3 for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I don't even want to see season 3.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying this is a make or break year.
Giants should get a top 10 pick and pick a quarterback and move on from Daniel Jones.
Yeah, they can from Chicago. We can win the Super Bowl and have a top 10 pick. So
and that's why Dave Gettleman's actually a pretty half decent
All right,
GM.
please,
I would say
stop.
good
he's
GM, but I don't want to
done
open a
well
can
with
of
the
worms.
team. Like
All right,
he's
Mano, open your mouth, please.
so
Come on.
I'm not done. Dave Gettleman, like, he does moves that at first, like, oh, what the fuck is he doing? And then when it turns out great in like a couple weeks, it's like, oh, he's not half bad. Let's get your head out of your fucking ass, Nick. Daniel Jones, I'm not saying he's gonna be great, but he's 24 years old, it's his 3rd fucking season. Let's not give up on a motherfucker like that. Like,
I do.
oh, there was this one dude who like had so many turnovers in the first couple years and
The
just
first
I'm
year.
gonna say
the
Peyton
1 year.
Manning. If you say Peyton Manning, I'm
If you
not
say
leaving.
Peyton Manning,
If you say Peyton Manning, I'm leaving.
I have
I've
a
had this
few
argument
fucking
before.
people I can say. I can say both Mannings. I can
People
say
are-
we'll get to him later, but I'm still a big Jameis Winston fan. So
All right,
the
Mano.
upside's still there. We should not give up on the dude yet. He's 24 and people can it turns
Okay.
out you're not
Okay.
like you don't peak at your second year. That's crazy, right?
This is my last thing I'm going to say about Daniel Jones. We're going to see how he operates against a good defense week 1 playing Denver. That's going to be the telltale for this season. If the Giants can't score more than 14 points, 17 points in the first week, that's it. That's it. You can't score against that team. That's it. Who else are you going to
Yes, I forgot. The season ended with week 1.
Just end it.
Indeed.
Just like the Yankees were done on July 20th.
Just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year, right? When they got shit
I don't
stopped
want to
in
hear
the
it.
first
All you
week of the
Yankees fans
season.
thought the season was over. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, I didn't say shit about them. I'm talking about last season after week 1, where everyone's like, "Oh, the Bucks stink," right? After because they got smacked week 1. Yeah, eat
Yeah,
shit.
But that's talking about the best quarterback of all time. That's completely different than Daniel Jones. That's completely different than Daniel Jones.
Be a little different, but not completely.
All right, Mano, please.
I don't even think Tom Brady was actually a starter at this
Stick, shut
point
the
in
hell
Daniel
up.
Jones'
Stick, shut the
career.
hell
yet.
up. Stick, stop talking.
You know, he was not. He was.
Just saying.
Danny, you know whose turn it is.
He's been patient.
I have been patient. Because this would be the easy. If I didn't have to make a pick, this would be the easiest pass on the card. Because I see both sides of the argument, right? And because it's a make or break year for pretty much everybody on the, in the organization, probably except for like Joe Judge, right, and the defensive staff, right. If they stink this year, everybody's gone. It's Daniel Jones gone. See you later. Gettleman gone. See you later. Right. Jason Garrett gone. See you later. Offensive staff, including Freddie Kitchens gone. See ya.
Trash.
They're going to, I hope they feel that pressure, right? And understand that like we need to either develop Daniel Jones and put him in the best situation to win, which they have not because they haven't built an offensive line in the past 4 years under Dave Gettleman, despite him saying that he's going to do that first and has not.
Has not done that at all. He signed
No.
Nate Solder, bro.
Yeah.
Nate Solder, dude. Come on with that.
Yeah.
Let's get Andrew Felice in there and have him play.
Listen,
left tackle
and then they drafted Andrew Thomas, who has been the 3rd best defensive or offensive tackle in that draft, when the other 2 have been all pros, right? Granted, he's the only one playing left tackle. He's the only one playing left tackle. I'll put hand up. Only one playing left tackle. But it's a make or break year. I'm going over 2. But like, I don't love it. I don't feel like confident about it. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to make another. Like, I don't think he's going to make some gargantuan leap that's going to like force the organization to be like,
yards, 45 touchdowns.
Huh?
He's only going for 5K and 45 touchdowns. That's all.
Hey man, maybe. Listen, I want to see Jason Garrett like put him in, like put guys in motion, put dudes, this team is built for success.
Run play action without a running game. I don't even want to go back to that.
No, let's not do that.
You absolutely can. It's irrelevant. You, me, and my grandmother.
It's old football right there.
Can be in the I-cent right now and teams would still bite or not bite. It's completely random.
It's not a video game, Mano.
Huh?
There's a purpose.
Okay, so
just
you
go on,
think
go
there is
on.
no
Sorry.
purpose?
You can run a play action. You can run play action without having a good running back. Anywho's
You can, but whether the
win
play
18.
action's effective.
no,
or
it's really successful. There's no difference in numbers between
actually
like
wanna
a really
see those
shitty running
stats.
back.
I
Go
really
ahead.
do.
Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, I'm
Go
truly
look them up.
interested.
Go ahead. I'll find some for you. Anywho's
How many wins they get this year? 8?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Are they an 8 and 9?
Even if they
football-
get 8, that's a fucking win.
exactly. Are they an 8 and 9 football team? Maybe. Are they a 7 and 10?
They're a winning
team?
football team.
They're a
winning.
seven-
I don't
They
think
are
they're
a 7
winning-
and 10
I don't
football.
think they're a winning football team. I don't think the
course
offensive
they are.
line is
In
going
this
to
division?
give Daniel Jones enough time to make a decision.
They're as
And
much
you
of
could
a,
say,
they're
oh, he
as
can
much of
move
a
in the
successful
pocket.
team
How
as
many
Dallas.
times is this guy going to move in the pocket before he throws an interception? Like the fumbles are bad. The interceptions are bad. It's all ugly for him. He hasn't done anything in the 2 years he's been the quarterback to make you think like, shit, man, year 3 is going to be better. He shows flashes, but then the next 5, 6, 7 plays are him, dinking down to the running back. And it's not completely his fault. It's not always his fault. But I don't know. It's a make or break year. I hope they feel the pressure. I think they do. I think Joe Judge is probably lights a fire under their ass and, is able to see the, pressure mounting. And
I can feel my blood boiling.
I gotta go over. I don't love it, but
We got to move on to Philly.
Please.
Soon.
What a terrible thing to say, Sam, but you're right. You're absolutely right. We have to move on to Philly.
Yeah,
nobody
fuck.
wants to move to Philly.
All right,
Um,
Stick, I want you to lead off with Philly.
Oh,
Do you
no,
have an-
Stick. Notable additions.
Oh, yeah. No,
Joe Flacco.
Is it
Why?
not? Is it not
Why?
notable?
He's notable.
He's
Like,
notable.
I guess it's just kind of funny more than anything.
Of course, it's funny, but he still deserves.
That
to
like
be there.
the one notable
He's a
addition you
finals
have
M-
under the
he's a
team
Super
is
Bowl
Joe
MVP.
Flacco.
Watch out.
What I'm just gonna say here about all of these notable additions for the very last time.
Oh, no,
I
it'll
grabbed
be the
these
last time.
notable additions from another article that I found while doing my research. So that makes 2 people that believe that he should be on that list, along with all the other people you guys had an issue with. Jacoby Brissett. All right. Joe Flacco is more notable than Jacoby Brissett.
In what way? Joe Flacco belongs
He
in
might
the
play, he
game.
might start.
No, he's just simply a more notable name.
I think
He's
Jacoby
named
Brissett has
Brissett.
just as much of a Jacoby Brissett has just as much as an opportunity because Tua seems to get hurt every other play when he gets
That's
hurt.
true. All right, but we're talking about the Eagles. So 7 wins are on the total. They have the easiest schedule in the NFL. Their opponents last year had a 43% win percentage. Well, their opponents last year had a 43% win percentage, if you didn't get the gist of that by now. In the first round, they grabbed Devontae Smith, wide receiver, which I was very upset about
Douchebags.
when it happened. And then the Cowboys turned around and snagged Micah Parsons as well. We already talked about them. Regardless, Joe Flacco, as you might have heard before, is also a notable addition here to back up Jalen Hurts. Team totals at 7. I just think this team is god awful. I'm going under. I don't want to waste any more breath on it. They're just not good. I think they're going to go under.
Up and down, this is the worst roster in the NFL.
I think so, for sure.
This is probably the worst. And people are high on Jalen Hurts, and good for him, right? Great. But I don't think he's a very good quarterback.
Even if he is, he's not going to give him 7 wins with that dog shit roster. I mean, so like in the way I did this, I have 0 wins, 8 losses, and 9 toss-ups. I don't think Jalen Hurts is winning 7 of those 9 close games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, they're not going to 6.5. I mean, 7, whatever. 6 and 11s are ceiling, and that's a very high ceiling for him, I think.
I'm gonna have to lock the door and put the chain on because someone's gonna come and punch me in the face because I'm gonna go over. The Eagles have won 7 or more games 7 of the last 8 years.
I don't give a shit.
Their
Last
quarterback's in Indianapolis, Nick.
Yeah, and how good is he?
Not very, and this
Great.
guy's not better.
They won a Super Bowl with a backup. Okay, Stick. Here, let me throw this back in your face. So they won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. Who's their backup quarterback?
Nick Foles.
No,
Nick
right now.
Nick Foles made a nice career out of himself, even before that backup.
I completely agree. Fine.
The Rams
I'm not-
paid
I'm
him
not
to be a
dis- I'm
starting
not
quarterback.
disagreeing.
Frank Reich won that Super Bowl
This-
more than anybody
this
else.
Eagles team is very, very bad. Very
Okay,
bad.
but listen, sometimes you got to throw all logic out the door when you're gambling. And you
Fair
three
enough.
and everybody else who listens to this podcast knows that sometimes logic doesn't need to make sense for you to gamble on the team. And
That's actually a
doesn't,
very good point.
it doesn't.
Which is why I already picked over on the Giants. Logic only goes so far.
That's true. That is true. I think I'm going to echo Manu. I do not believe in Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's a long-term solution. I think he could get the job done enough for them to win. I think they're going to be in a lot of close games this year because it is Philly, and Philly is notable for playing close games. And I think we're going to get halfway through the year and we're going to be like, what the fuck is Philly doing halfway up the leaderboard, winning 6 games?
Scumbags.
So I hate Philly. I really do. I just think this is going to be a halfway decent team this year. And I think they're going to play every game hard. They play every team hard. I don't believe in anything the Eagles do. I think their defense is atrocious, and I'm not even impressed with their offense. But for some reason, something's hit me where I think they're going to get 8 wins this year. They're going to be an 8-11 team, or no, an 8-9 team. And it's going to hurt the soul because they're going to beat the Giants, and it's going to hurt every time.
How the hell do you think, like, with the rosters that Philly gets 8 wins, but the Giants don't? Like,
because I watch the Giants play and I've watched the Eagles play. Every time the Giants play the Eagles are always playing harder than the Giants, almost every time.
You're right. The logos fight each other, Nick, not the players on the field.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah, roster does not matter. Nothing matters besides just.
And this is the
past bullshit
we're getting our football analysis from.
That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. When they win 8 games this year, and we come back on here and we review this, and I'm right, you guys can all, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
You might be right, but I don't think so.
All right, that's fine. Well, that's why it's gambling.
It's you damn right. All right, Mano.
Dumbass.
I already said under. I think this is one of the worst rosters in fucking football.
I heard that part. I didn't hear the under part.
No, you guys all said under. I said
they're under.
All right.
Their defensive line is like solid. They'll be able to get pressure, and they can probably, sneak some, I don't know, interceptions from that, and maybe steal a couple wins here and there. I don't know if they steal 6 wins with Jalen Hurts and, Jalen Reagor, Greg Ward, and Devontae Smith, catching passes from them.
They'll sneak a couple.
I mean, I guess. Hey, Jalen Hurts is saying all the right things, man. He at the very least, he sounds like he's trying his best. So
I would hope he is as an
credit
NFL
where credit's
athlete.
due.
Yeah,
I would assume so. I would hope.
All right, let's move on.
On to the football team.
We're almost done. Please, Jesus.
What do you mean almost done?
With his division.
2 more divisions left. All right, Washington football team. The team total set at 8. They have the 18th easiest schedule. Their opponents are right about 50% from last year. They got Jamin Davis in the first round, linebacker. Notable additions: Ryan Fitzpatrick, Curtis Samuel, and cornerback William Jackson. I believe he played for the Cincinnati Bengals.
They had a good defense last year.
Who?
The Cincinnati Bengals. They had a really good defense.
I mean, you're asking him to a defense that was legitimately good, so it might just be a depth add. I don't really know, but he's also not that bad.
100%.
So
okay.
Regardless, I'm going to go under here. I don't think this offense is going to do much. I know they have Ryan Fitzpatrick in there. I know they have Curtis Samuel in there. Curtis Samuel scares me a little bit. He's like a little gadget guy. You just plug him wherever you want and just let him go. And hopefully the Giants can keep tabs on him at least twice a year. But
them specifically.
Yeah, I think last year was more of a fluke. I don't know if the defense is going to mesh as well as it did last year. I know they're still going to have a good pass rush, but say it again.
Defense is the hardest thing to carry over year over year.
I agree, which is why I don't think they're going to have the same unit they did last year. Obviously, Chase Young is still going to be Chase Young. He's going to get to the quarterback.
He's not changing his name.
No, he's not. That entire defensive front is going to be fine. The defensive front, maybe the front 4 or 5 guys on the line. But I'm still going to go under here. I just really think the Cowboys and the Giants are going to run this division. That's how I opened up this division intro here, and that's how I'm going to end it. So over for the Cowboys, over for the Giants, under for the Eagles, under for the Redskins football team. Sorry, second mess up of the day. Regardless.
Dude, come on now. All right. Well, I guess I'll go since I guess the spotlight's on me. I'm going over. I think they win at least 10 games, maybe 11 games this year. I think the Washington football team is very good. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is a fantastic add. Terry McLaurin is very good. You have Curtis Samuel, who's stick highlighted as a gadget guy. Antonio Gibson is fantastic. And Logan Thomas is already supposed to be cut. There's already rumors that he's going to play the most snaps at tight end this entire year out of every tight end in the league.
Whether Hokie legend right there.
Another Hokie legend, whether another quarter. Listen, whether he makes something to do with it or not is one thing, but you have Ryan Fitzpatrick. You don't have Ryan Fitzpatrick. You have Taylor Heineke, who showed he had something. He is good or good enough to get a
I just
W.
can't believe you're telling me that Daniel Jones isn't capable of beating 7 wins, but Taylor Heineke, you're comfortable saying he's going to blow past 8 and they're going to get 10, 11 wins.
I don't think Taylor Heineke is going to get him blown. I don't think Taylor Heineke is going to blow him past, but I think if you pull Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think Taylor Heineke is a very suitable number 2 guy who can get them W's.
They're going to go to crap. They're going to go to crap.
I don't think they're going to go to crap. Their defense is fantastic. Granted, man, I was saying defense doesn't carry over. You have a great front line in Montez Sweat, Ryan Kerrigan, and Chase Young. They're going to pretty much feast on every NFC East opponent because every NFC East opponent doesn't have an offensive line. Give me 10 wins for the Washington football team this year. I believe in Ryan Rivera and or Ron Rivera.
Who? There you go.
I'm thinking, listen, I'm between Ryan Fitzpatrick and Ron Rivera here. I'm a little bit in between. Give me the gunslinger Ryan Fitzpatrick. His beard is, oh my God, dude. His hair is just, oh my, dude, give it to me.
They're making him shave in Washington.
No, they're not going to make him shave in Washington. What do you want?
I don't know.
Give me the over. Give me 10 wins for Washington this year. I think they win the division. I don't think they do anything, but I think they win the division for sure.
I see the cycle where it's like the cycle of Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's
where he has a flash of goodness and goes to dog shit next year. There's a reason he's been on 114 teams so far.
Yeah, I heard he was playing in the AFL.
Yeah, exactly.
The Ryan Fitzpatrick cycle. This is from I'm not even gonna source this. Okay.
Source.
Okay.
Just trust
so
me.
So the Ryan Fitzpatrick cycle: get released, gets signed as a backup, starter gets hurt, Fitzpatrick thrown into game, plays very well, earns starting spot, gets paid, sucks. Get released, gets signed as backup, rinse, repeat. Right. I think this is probably one of the better teams that Ryan Fitzpatrick has been on in the past, 3 years. Because what are we going back now? We're going back to Miami last year, which was a flash in the pan, and then Tampa Bay before that when Jameis got hurt, right?
Something like that, yeah. Tampa.
So
don't even matter.
I mean, I like Ryan Fitzpatrick as a quarterback. I think he's a good stopgap quarterback, but I don't think this team needs a stopback quarterback. That said, though, I think the talent around him is good enough where he's going to end up being, even if he throws 20 touchdowns and 17 picks, I think they're still probably a solid team around him. So I got to go over on them. I think they win the division as well.
Okay, is that it?
That's for the NFC East. Yeah, can we get out of this division? It's fucking rat shit. Not your father's NFC East.
Please.
What is it?
Okay.
Never eat soggy.
Yeah, we're going to
the soggy
South,
portion of this podcast.
The soggy NFC.
Yep. All right, we're gonna start off with the Atlanta Falcons. Win totals at 7. They have the 3rd easiest schedule in the league. In the first round, they grabbed Kyle Pitts, tight end. Honestly, didn't do much else. They did ship Julio Jones off to Tennessee.
I wish they kept him.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see that offense with Julio Jones,
honestly.
Kyle Pitts, and emerging Calvin Ridley. They got some names on that offense. They got some talent.
They do. And they got Mike Davis. I guess we can throw him in there as a notable addition. He did a good job in Carolina.
Running backs don't matter.
No, I don't think they matter either. But I'm still gonna go under here. I just don't think this defense is gonna be good enough to hold this year. And even with the uncertainty with the Panthers and the Saints, I think the Panthers are gonna be good. At least better than the Saints, but I don't know.
I'm going over. I think Atlanta wins 8 games, 9 games this year. They're under a new head coach that is not Dan Quinn.
This is true.
Which I think is huge. They won, who was it? Raheem Morris. They won 4 of 7 games that he was coaching. They went on a 4-game win streak. They kind of tore it up, and at the end of the year, they kind of fell apart. But that's because they're the Falcons, and they always seem to fall apart whenever they need to win. Their offense is going to be good. Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan. He is 47 years old, but he could still throw for 250 yards a game. Calvin Ridley, it's not crazy to say Calvin Ridley might be the best wide receiver, I guess stat-wise, wide receiver in the league this year. Kyle Pitts is a great addition. Mike Davis is going to feast. I think Mike Davis is going to feast in the red zone this year. I really do. That's all he really did in the other teams he played for. Give me over 7 wins for Atlanta. I think their defense kind of shows up. I think they win about 8-9 games this year. And I like it. Give it to me.
I think this is one of the easiest overs on the board.
Thank you.
I think this team is too talented. From an offense, it's very similar to Dallas's to a Dallas situation last year, where the offense is going to like shit stomp you for 60 minutes, and then the defense is going to kind of struggle their way kind of through. But I think they've gotten better. They were 2-8 last year in 1-score games, right? So I'm kind of banking on them to kind of they were almost there. I don't know if they can push it over the edge, but it's certainly easier to be, a little bit better than 2-8 in 1-score games. I think that's I think there's some variance there. So I think I like the over here.
I don't know if you went stick already, but
I did. We're talking about Atlanta.
Yeah, no, I was able to figure that one out.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm on the over as well. Like, I don't think that it's possible for them to be as unlucky as they were last season as they will be this season. Like, obviously no Dan Quinn anymore. So that and in that season, they did lose 5 in a row, I believe, to end last season, but against quality opponents, and they showed a lot of life in those games. So I think the off no Julio, but Calvin Ridley is a great wide receiver. Kyle Pitts is arguably the best tight end prospect we've seen in 20 years, even who knows. But yeah, 7.5 wins, even 8 and 9, I think is realistic for them. Matt Ryan is still a good quarterback, so I like over 7.5.
Alrighty. Let's move down to Carolina. We have a 7.5 win total, 7th easiest schedule in the league. They picked up J.C. Horn, I believe, from TCU as a cornerback in the first round. Also got Sam Darnold.
South Carolina. Come on, buddy.
It was South Carolina?
South Carolina.
Who's the other?
Yeah, you were close. Texas and
I don't know why you said TCU.
There's a dude that came from TCU as a cornerback. I don't know. Aren't they the Horned Frogs? That's probably where my mind is going here.
they are the Horned
TCU
Frogs.
Horned Frogs.
Yeah, that's probably where my mind's going. All right, regardless, Hassan Reddick and Denzel Perryman, along with Sam Darnold, are free agent additions, well, trade additions rather. Some of them a little mix and match. Regardless, the total's at 7.5. They lost Curtis Samuel, still have DJ Moore,
and Robbie Anderson.
I'm gonna go over here. For all the reasons you guys think that the Falcons is the easiest over on the board, I think this might be. As long as their defense can hold up, which they've been pretty good, I would say. I mean, nothing to write home about, but not awful. So if they can take a next step and just be a solid unit and let the offense work, I think Sam Darnold's change of scenery here in Carolina is going to be big, especially giving him receivers that know what to do. Christian McCaffrey also, forgot to mention him, but he'll be back.
He's okay.
He's all right. He didn't really play much last
Pretty
year. But, I think they can blow past 7.5 wins here. I think they can get upwards of 9 or 10 probably, and threaten for the playoffs in the NFC.
I'm gonna go quick. I think they go under. I think they go 7-10 this year, 6-11. They are not a good football team. Darnold is not that good of a good quarterback. Their defense really isn't that good. There's too much inexperience, I think, in that front office, on that coaching staff, and on the team. And I don't think they're going to compete at all this year. I think they're still a couple years away from getting back where they should be. So I'm going to go under.
I like everything about this Panthers roster except for Sam Darnold. They have, their wide receiver duo of Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and now Terrence Marshall in there is going to be big for him. And if you thought that, what's his name? The offensive coordinator,
Joe Brady.
Yeah, Joe Brady from LSU. If you thought he did well last year, I think you're really banking on him to kind of fix Sam Darnold in 1 year. And I don't know if you can fix what's been that broken. Like that's like glass shatter that they're trying to fix with like Gorilla Glue or something like that. Like you'll put it together and it'll do a job, but it's not going to look pretty, and eventually it'll probably fall apart anyways. I don't like that combination. I think they should be trying to, not actively lose games, but if you're that confident in your quarterback or in your offensive coordinators, like developmental skills and play calling skills, shouldn't you want like the best quarterback available? I don't know if maybe Sam Darnold's better than the guys that could be drafted next year. I guess you really don't know, but I don't know. He's bad. Sam Darnold is bad, right?
Let's go, baby. Over under. Over
I
under.
think the change of scenery is going to be big for both him
I
and
said
Trent
under
Lance.
already.
Over under 7.5. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Give me the over. I'm going to take the over. Did I say the under already? I'm going to take the over.
I might have
This
imagined
defense is
that.
wild. Brian Burns is one of the better defensive ends in the
Yeah,
league.
he is.
Like, this is a wild like team, and then it's just Sam Darnold. It's ugly to look at, but I think they'll surprise some teams. I think they'll surprise some people too.
All right, so they went 5-11 last season, and I really don't see enough improvement to have them have 3 more wins, despite having 1 extra game. Like, honestly, I don't think Sam Darnold is, dog shit yet. I think he was dealt a very bad hand with the Jets, with Adam Gase calling plays for his entire career. So, but
He
regardless
was
of
bad
that,
while doing that. Like he was
Yeah,
fundamentally terrible too.
yeah, I'm saying I'm not saying like Darnold is going to be
Right.
terrible like for the rest of his career, but 7.5 for a team that won 5 games last season with not much significant improvement. Yeah, I don't see him getting there. I mean, I know they have a relatively easy schedule, but I mean, even look at their schedule, like I see only a few potential wins in here. I mean, I was going to give him a win against the Jets week 1, but fuck, Zach Wilson looks really good so far. So, but yeah, I'm going under 7.5. I think they cap at 6, maybe 7 if they pull a big upset. But yeah, they're not going to get close to a playoff spot.
I don't think they have a lot of depth, right? And I think in the
Mhm.
NFL you really need depth, right? Like if Brian Burns goes down, it's Marquise Haynes, and you're gonna say who, and I'm gonna say I don't know.
Who?
Exactly. If JC Horn goes down, it's Stantley, not Stanley, Stantley, Thomas Oliver III, and you're going to say who?
Who?
Right? Exactly. It's
Well,
Taylor
at least-
Moton, one of the best right tackles in the league. He goes down as Brady Christensen or Trent Scott. Like it's ugly. Like it's ugly beyond their starting roster. I think
Well,
I got to
would-
change from under. It's the rare triple switch. It's the rare.
The old
gonna go
triple
under.
switcheroo.
Yes,
Let's go.
it's ugly. I like this roster and I like their coaching staff, but like, damn, it's tough. You're right. It's tough to see 7.5, 8 wins from this team. So.
Well, if you want to talk about depth, you could talk about QB depth in New Orleans.
Okay.
A great segue there, Nick.
Yeah, there
Thanks,
you go.
buddy. I was ready for
Um,
it. I was waiting for it.
9.5 win total. They have the 11th easiest schedule. They got Peyton Turner, defensive end, in the first round.
Who?
Drew Brees retired.
He did do that.
He did.
He
Good
did.
For him. Good for him. It was about time.
Yeah, I would say so. But now Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill, or
The first one should be the obvious starter, but
I mean, I think it should be Jameis Winston. I think you should give him the playbook and say, "Here you go. We're not in a great situation,
You
but
gotta throw 30.
here's another
interceptions,
shot,
have
buddy."
Fun with it.
put that.
Yeah.
On.
Supposedly got eye surgery like a while ago. I don't think
Yeah,
it-
he got it. He got it prior to that first season in New Orleans, so he can see now.
Okay, I'm gonna listen. I think 9.5 is high. I think they still think the Saints are who they used to be. The Saints don't have a wide receiver core. Michael Thomas is hurt. He's upset in New Orleans. They don't have a defense. They really. You couldn't name anybody on their defense. Who could you name on the defense besides for Cam Jordan?
Marcus
Marshawn
Davenport.
Lattimore.
Okay, Marsh. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. I did
Say
want
that
Malcolm
like-
Jenkins too.
but they have a
I
pretty
did
good safety.
They have a
Okay.
pretty solid defense overall, actually.
Okay, I don't think it matters who's at quarterback. I think they only win 8.
James is going right now, actually.
Yeah, Saints are up 7-0.
Oh, there we go.
I don't really
Oh,
think
what
it
a
matters.
strike by Jameis.
I don't really think it matters who the quarterback is. I think the Saints only win about 7, 8 games this year because I think Jameis is bad. I think Taysom Hill's bad. I don't think it really matters. So give me the under.
I'm going under 2. I didn't throw that in there.
If you guys are trying to win a football, if Saints have Super Bowl aspirations, right? We can all agree on that.
Yes, I do.
I think they'd be in over their head, but probably do.
That's probably their aspect. But if you're the coach there, right? You're Sean Payton, right?
Dude, that's pretty cool if I'm Sean Payton.
It is pretty cool if you're Sean Payton.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of
who's
here
starting week 1? Like, independent of what you've seen in preseason right now, just like who I know. I'm going Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
I think Sam's going Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I've been very clear over numerous recordings from last year to this year that Jameis Winston should be their starting quarterback.
It's got to be Jameis Winston. Taysom Hill is hardly a quarterback. Like,
Okay, what do you think they? Okay, so they win more games with Jameis Winston than Taysom Hill. Is that what you're saying?
Jameis Winston can see now.
Okay, so how many wins is Jameis Winston getting the Saints this year?
20.
still not over 9.5.
All of
Still
them.
not over 9.5.
They go 20-0 when it's Super Bowl.
It is still not over 9.5.
Yet
But you're gonna lose the allure of Taysom Hill if you just play him as at quarterback.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit. Oh yeah, it's like Jameis Winston, like the upside that he has, especially now that he has vision, is incredible. He threw 30 touchdowns without being able to see like
You don't
10
know this
yards
for a
in front of
fact,
him.
Sam. You don't know this.
I know that for a fact. I talked to him. No, but the dude got like, oh, he's looking so nice right now. I'm like watching Jameis right now. Just
It's
pick
preseason.
apart
Get over yourself, Sam.
the elite
All
Jacksonville
right, Sam,
Jaguars
give me an
defense.
over under here. Stop talking about Jameis. Give me an over under.
Do you really have to fucking ask like what I'm doing? They're going over.
No, they're not.
9.5. I think 10-7 is a very reasonable season with New Orleans Saints because dog shit. You said they have a shit defense. They have a very solid defense. Jameis Winston is a dog. He's gonna do. Jameis Winston, I will tell you right now, if given a starting role all season, goes for 4,000 plus and 30 plus touchdowns.
And 30 plus interceptions.
Who is catching these
Only
touchdowns?
18 interceptions this season.
Yeah, who's catching those touchdowns?
Who's catching it?
Michael Thomas, fucking
What's
me.
where
Who
from the
gives a shit?
freaking IL? I don't
Who
know
gives
about
a
that.
shit?
Everybody.
A good quarterback, a great quarterback makes good receivers. So who gives a fuck?
All right,
He's
we're
not
gonna
a
move
great
on.
quarterback. He's not a great
You want
quarterback.
to
He
hear
will
about a
be.
great quarterback? We're gonna move on to
You
the
guys,
Tampa Bay
you
Bucks.
guys
I still
don't
have-
believe in quarterback growth that a guy can get better after time. Like, I mean, obviously different sport and all, but like
He was
after
benched.
6, Jameis!
Wow.
Look at this fucking dime you're about to see right now from Jameis Winston. Oh
This
my
happened 3 days ago,
goodness.
Sam. By the time anybody knows what the hell you're talking about,
Oh, they'll fucking know though.
I think the Saints go over too. By the way,
Holy shit! No, you guys.
I'm a big Sean Payton advocate, right? I think there's been stuff in his playbook that he's been dying to call for the past, like, I don't know, 8 years that Drew Brees has been in New Orleans, right? Anything beyond 35 yards, that dude has ripped out of his playbook, shed a tear onto it, and threw it in the trash because Drew Brees couldn't throw it, right? And I don't think Taysom Hill can do it either. I think Jameis Winston gives you the best chance to win. It opens up more in the playbook, and you can still keep the dimension of having Taysom Hill throw 2 passes a game. Maybe he can catch a screen pass. He can still kick return. The other problem is that they paid Taysom Hill to be a quarterback, right? And that kind of, and Taysom Hill has said, like, I'm a quarterback, and if I'm not, I'm outie, right? So I think it's tough. I think Jameis Winston's the quarterback. They go over. If he's not the quarterback, easy under. I think they're one of the worst teams if Taysom Hill's the quarterback.
yeah, I think it's pretty stupid.
So I need you to see both of James's touchdown passes now. They're both
I have the Yankee
absolute
game on in the
dots.
background.
All right, it doesn't matter. Talk about
This last one was legit a unbelievable pass, like regardless. So
Name of the
All
game,
right,
scoring, but you gotta
Tampa Bay
score points to win, man.
Buccaneers. Jameis's former team.
Yep. 11 wins on the total. They have the 4th easiest schedule, which I don't know how the hell that happens after winning the Super Bowl, but
Because it's Tom Brady and the league will do anything to make Tom Brady look good.
yeah, well.
oh, Tom Brady.
There it is.
Their
Love
first
Tom
rounder,
Brady.
Joe Tryon, by the way, I feel like I see him all over social media. The guy's a total beast. What's going on here?
Sorry, I'm playing the game.
You playing music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dudes love the Buccaneers. Like, dudes on Twitter love the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and rightly
Okay,
so. It's Tom Brady.
they're returning every single starter on both
Right.
sides of the
Exactly.
I'm going quick. I'm taking the over. They win 12 games this year.
Taking the
because
over also.
That's just how it's going to be. Yeah, let's just make it quick. They're going to go over. It's just this is I'm going to preview this on my
easy.
I'm going to preview this on our season prop episode. I already took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the championship because I think at the very least you can cash out them to win deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
If I have to make a pick. I'm going, which I do. I'm going over. I think this is one of the easiest passes on the board. If you aren't comfortable one way or another, it's a lot of wins. Yes, they're returning everybody. But with that, there's no new. Maybe there is new wrinkles, but like I don't know. I think we're going to see a lot of the same. I don't think they're going to get caught in any sense of the word, but every once in a while they might get caught trying to do some stuff they did last year. Just things change year over year, even if they return everybody. I'm cool with the over though.
Yeah, I mean,
Out of that division.
11's so easy.
Yeah,
They're gonna win like 13-14.
All right, we're
They
moving
can
on
very
to the
legitimately win
West,
the
the waffles,
Waffles.
the waffles portion of this podcast.
Waffles in the morning.
going
I'm making
to-
waffles.
Huh?
I said in the morning I'm making waffles.
Shrek reference.
Come on, Stick.
Yes. Those pancakes.
No, it's
No,
waffles.
It is waffles.
Oh, dude.
All right.
Are you
Waffles.
shitting me right now?
Oh my
Look.
God.
Bro, Shrek
We're
is
going
one of
to
the greatest
Arizona
movies
here.
of our generation, and you're gonna insult waffles like that
I
and
can't
say
believe this.
pancakes. Pancakes are better than waffles, by the way. But
I agree. That's why I said it.
It's all about French toast, baby.
okay,
That's a
Breakfast
front
food's
runner right
elite
there, too.
no matter what breakfast food you choose, it's elite. No matter what.
not a big breakfast guy, but
You know, I
The
it's
hash
always eat
browns, some
breakfast.
sausage.
No, it's all about a pork roll, egg, and cheese.
Excuse me.
on everything
Excuse me.
bagel.
You're-
Yeah,
no,
I don't.
no.
Pork roll, jackass.
No, I gotta mute. Can
Move
I mute
on.
this
Pork roll,
guy?
egg, and
Next,
cheese
next.
on
Keep going.
everything
Keep-
bagel with a hash brown, salt, pepper, ketchup.
We're going
baby.
Arizona Cardinals here. We're going to cut off this blasphemous rant going on here from the
Go fuck
South
yourself.
Jersey
Can I mute
guy.
him? Is there a way to mute him?
I can do it, actually.
Eat
All right.
shit and die if you
Oh
say
my God.
Taylor Ham.
All right, 8 wins on the total for the Arizona Cardinals. They have the 19th easiest schedule in the league. In the draft, picked up linebacker Zaven Collins and wide receiver Rondale Moore also in the second round. I feel like that is probably one of my best achievements here with the notable additions is I even dug into the second round because Rondale Moore is going to be a pretty good piece for that offense. Also got J.J. Watt and A.J. Green. And for those reasons, I'm going to go over. I think 8 is pretty attainable. It's a tougher division, but I mean, the Cardinals showed flashes of greatness last year and flashes of mediocrity, but I think this year they might put it together. Kyler Murray takes another step forward. I think 8 wins is pretty attainable.
That's a dime, Sam.
Yeah, check that. Yeah, I sent
That's
you
a
all
dime.
the Jameis dot real quick. So
That's a dime. The
check
Jaguars
Twitter.
also-
Check y'all's Twitter.
The Jaguars
know.
also might have arguably the worst defense in the league, so and that's their second team out there.
I don't give a shit. That was
Right.
that was good coverage, and he threw a freaking dime.
I'll give him that. It was a good play. It was a good play. All right,
Okay,
let's keep
Arizona
this
Cardinals.
moving. We got the Cardinals. Who's
Arizona
going, Nick?
Cardinals are going under 8.5.
I agree. I think Arizona Cardinals are going under. I just don't think they're there. I think the division, every team in that division is better than they are. They'll keep
I think
being
they could
close.
very well go 0-6 in division.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be a good against the spread team, but I don't think they're going to be a good straight up team. I don't really think. I mean, yes, they added J.J. Watt defensively, but I can't really name anybody else on that defense besides Buda Baker.
And yeah, but like, so they have what the 19th easiest schedule, which is, I mean, still not great. They still like middle of the road, but like that's the Rams getting better. The Niners being back and healthy, like that's like what a 6-10 Niners team. So they'll be back and healthy, especially defensively. Unless they really take a step forward, like if Kyler Murray becomes a top 3 quarterback in NFL, they're going to stay under 8.5 or 9, 8, whatever you have.
I got it at 8 right here.
I like 8. I like under 8.5 more than 8 because I think 8 and 9 is a very reasonable season for him. So
Yeah, I think they're not going to be. I think they're going to be unsurprising. Again, I think they're
good. They're going to make like they're still a very talented football team, but the fact that the other 3 teams in the division, they could have a very good game with all 6 of those games and still go 0-6. So
Yeah. I'm going under.
unless Seattle takes a big step down, I think they're going to really struggle in the West.
I think they will,
All right.
but we'll
All right,
get
man,
there.
Dingo, where are you sitting on this,
their
buddy?
defense was 10th in DVOA last year. They had a really solid defense despite not having many, big name guys outside of like what Chandler Jones. And
Patrick Peterson.
Peterson.
Hey, they have JJ Watt now,
Now they
for
have
like
JJ
12
Watt,
snaps.
right? Now another year of Isaiah Simmons. I like the team. I got to go under here. I don't think Kyler Murray is a good quarterback. Like if you ask the dude to like drop back and throw a football or like throw on a run, like he doesn't throw a good ball. Like he's actually one of the worst.
It's very not good.
But when he, scrambles and makes moves with his feet, like he's one of the best, right? So it's up and down, but as a pure quarterback, he's not good. And I think Cliff Kingsbury's I don't think he's a good coach, despite being an offensive genius and an offensive guru. He
was shit in college. What makes you think he's
exactly.
good in the
failed
NFL?
Upward. Thank you, Sam. He failed upwards. The dude stunk. The dude made mockery of what Patrick Mahomes is today. He's bad, but he makes some, aside from that, he's made some questionable decisions in his NFL career, right? And yeah, he draws a pretty play, but he doesn't know when the hell to call him, right? So
he won 500 in the Big 12 with Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback.
That should tell you everything you need to know.
The dude's not a good coach.
Should tell you everything you need to know. That offense doesn't do much for me. Kyler Murray's solid quarterback, I guess. I just called him really bad, but like I guess in the grand scheme of things, he's probably a decent quarterback. He's probably going to win you games, but I think this team is bound for regression.
Stick you under?
I'm over.
Best of luck to you, buddy.
You're under, Sammy? Everybody's under except for me?
I want to like Kyler Murray.
I'm very under.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the LA Rams. We have a 10.5 win total, the 23rd easiest schedule. They grabbed Tutu Atwell, wide receiver in the second round, who arguably I've never heard of, but they didn't have a first round pick, and I wanted to throw somebody in there. But I assume he's going to be a gadget guy in there for Tutu Atwell. Just sounds like a gadget guy for Sean McVay to use. I don't know how big he is, but the name itself, he's got to be a slot guy, and I'm going to check on that right now because I just want to know.
He's like 5'6". He's a small guy.
That's
he's 5'9".
Name
You're
right
not
there.
not a gadget guy at 5'9" with Tutu Atwell on your birth certificate. However,
it's not exactly like an outside threat.
Okay, he's probably quick. I would assume if you're 5'9" in the NFL. But regardless,
Shifty.
All
the
right,
biggest move they made.
All right, but you talk. Yeah, go ahead.
Matt Stafford. Shipped
Who?
Jared Goff to Detroit, brought Matt Stafford in. And personally, I think that is probably one of the number one moves of the entire offseason around the entire league. Matt Stafford is head and shoulders above Jared Goff. And I think Matt Stafford is probably the most underrated quarterback in the league.
Yes.
That guy is so unbelievably good. He's even gotten praise from Aaron Rodgers, like time and time and time again.
No one loves Matt Stafford more than Aaron Rodgers.
It's 100% true. He gets so much love for the arm angles he can throw the ball out of, the windows he can fit it in. Now with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, who are just elite route runners in the NFL with sure hands, I don't know. I think this is going to be a very dangerous team. Cam Akers taking another step forward after a really, really big rookie campaign.
Cam Akers tore his shit.
He's
Cam
done
Akers tore his shit.
already this
Darrell
year.
Henderson season.
He tore his shit.
Oh, he tore his stuff like a month ago.
Too many injuries going on. I'm using Mano's injury sources nowadays.
Ha.
But either way, like even without Stafford, that their defense it's last time I checked,
ridiculous.
still very good.
Yeah.
They're gonna win.
They could win
they'll
11
say defense,
games.
They're gonna win.
They can go
12
11-6 with Goff with his defense, but put Stafford in there.
They're gonna win 12 games. They're gonna win the NFC West, and they're gonna be a good football team. You have Van Jefferson,
Holy
second year.
shit.
Yeah, they have second year wide receiver Van Jefferson, which I mean whatever, but he was playing third behind Cooper
All
Kupp.
aboard the Van, baby.
Exactly. He's playing third behind Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. You have Tyler Higbee, who Sean McVay has already praised that he just loves this guy. Their defense is ridiculous, and Matt Stafford throws for 400 yards a game. I mean, I think you're stupid not to take the Rams in almost any game this year.
And also 10.5 over 10.5 for the Rams, plus 120. This is via FanDuel.
All right. Well, now that makes me a little scared.
At plus money? No, I don't give.
Take
That
it.
means Vegas knows something that we don't. Listen, I get a little
Dude,
nervous.
Vegas is stupid.
No, Vegas is suckering you in by giving you plus money on the over. reversing your entire thought process to what you're doing right now, so you can place the bet that eventually
Listen,
puts money in their pocket.
I mean, I'm still taking the over. I'm still taking arguably one of the best defenses in the league, and then an offense that has a ceiling that could be top in the top 5 in the league. So give me over. I think Matt Stafford makes this LA Rams team head and shoulders above what they've ever been. Losing Cam Akers, I don't think is a big deal because I think Darrell Henderson and anybody else in that in the backfield doesn't really matter at this point because they have a great offensive line, and McVay knows exactly what he's doing. Calling plays. So give me the over. Give me 12 wins for the Los Angeles Rams this year. Give me a huge year for Matt Stafford.
They're my Super Bowl favorite. So
I was about to say, like, get the jewelers ready because
yeah,
get the rings fitted soon enough. So
over club.
Over.
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna go 9-8, but still win a Super Bowl though.
That's impressive.
Giant style, baby.
Giant style.
All right.
The other California team,
San Francisco. 10 wins on the total, 14th easiest schedule, so right smack in the middle of the league. Notable addition, first rounder, they got Trey Lance. I don't really know what the deal is here. Is he? I mean, we don't have a definite week 1 starter.
there is no definite week 1 starter.
It's gonna be Lance at some point, at least.
It's probably gonna be Jimmy G to start.
Jimmy G is going to
Jimmy
start.
G's gonna start week 1, despite him looking like absolute dog shit so far, and Trey Lance looking not like incredible, but like at least his deep balls is incredible.
Yeah,
I've watched
against
both
the
of Trey
defenses and the
Lance's
teams in this league. I just don't think it's gonna work.
No, I mean, I've watched both of Trey Lance's preseason games, and the only thing he has really done well is throw a nice ball. He hasn't really made the smartest decisions. It seems like he could put a lot of gas behind the ball, air it out, fit it into tight windows, but I don't think his decision making is quite there yet. So I think Jimmy G starts about 5-6 games this year, and then I think they pull him because the fan base, I think, is going to call for Trey Lance. I don't really know where I'm at with this total because I think if Trey Lance is where Trey Lance should be, I think this is going to be an 11-win football team. But with this half and half thing, I don't think they have the quarterback. I think they only win about 9 games, but their defense is studs. I don't know. I think Brandon Ayuk takes a huge leap. They have Brandon Ayuk, get a healthy George Kittle all year. They just drafted Trey Sermon, who I think is going to surpass Raheem Mostert at some point because I think Trey Sermon can do a lot more than Raheem Mostert can. I think you see Trey Lance slotted in about the 5th week-ish, give or take a week. And then I think that the team takes a leap from there. I'm going to go under. I think they go 9-8. I really do. I mean, I could really see a 10-7 season, but I think because the inexperience of the quarterback or the lack of talent at the quarterback is going to cost them a couple games. So I'm going to go under.
I agree. So, let's go 2 years ago when Jimmy G was our quarterback, and with a very similar elite defense. Keyword if healthy, because last year obviously very banged up defensively.
It's still solid.
They went to the Super Bowl, and we're looking like they were going to win the Super Bowl through 3 quarters. But alas, Patrick Mahomes did that thing where he's the best quarterback of all time, and then all that stuff. But I think Jimmy G, even if with Jimmy G, they're a 9-10 win team, I think, but Trey Lance's upside is so much bigger. I think Trey Lance should be starting. Eventually he will be, and I think regardless, they're going to win 10 games. Because that defense is, when healthy, elite. I mean, they've shown it before. Like, they went to a fucking Super Bowl, for Christ's sake.
Now,
with Jimmy G throwing, 7 times in an NFC Championship game, whatever it was. Obviously,
I hate to jump in the middle, but you said the defense if healthy, and the problem with this defense is there's negative depth behind all these starters.
That's why going with the over is
behind these starters is
kind of an assumption that they will stay healthy. So over. So FanDuel has it over at 10.5. Over 10.5 is plus 100. So probably at 10 would be about your normal minus 110 each way. So I like the over because I like Trey Lance, not just because of his big arm ability. Dude can run too. He can make his own plays if need be. Kind of like a Justin Fields, where I love is it Mina or Mina Kimes on ESPN has Is Mina? Yeah, she's awesome. Has Trey Lance one of the top 10 quarterbacks in NFL off of design runs. So that dude, like, obviously um not a lot of stuff from college you can go off of because he didn't play that much, but the dude can clearly run and he has a freaking cannon. The upside is enough for me to take the risk on over 10 here. On the assumption that the defense is going to be healthy and
They also don't have
at least close to dominant as they were in 20.
They also don't have wide receivers. They have Brandon Ayuk and they have Deebo Samuel, Samuel's been hurt pretty much all preseason, who just started
again. Both of them are, I think,
they're both tiny boys,
unproven.
And they have Mohamed Sanu, and Mohamed Sanu is pretty washed up at this point.
The dude Kittle's all right too. So,
Go ahead.
I like the under.
Under.
Yeah, it. I'm not going to put my money on it, right? But if I were, I'm not all that inspired. Like Nick said, like with this offense, right? Whether it's Jimmy G or Trey Lance, I mean, he's not throwing to anybody that's spectacular, but he doesn't have to, since most of their routes are like motion underneath, getting guys open, pre-snap and making things difficult on a defense that way. But either way, their bread and butter is in the run game, right? With Mostert. Now they brought in, Trey Sermon. They still have Kyle Juszczyk. That's their bread. Their offense is going to, churn on no matter who's the quarterback, I think. Defensively, like you said, they're solid. Their depth is questionable. I think the biggest note that we haven't touched on is that they're getting a new offensive coordinator, right? Rob Saleh's in New York, right? Well,
that's defense.
In
East Rutherford,
northern New Jersey. So for them to bring in a new coordinator, right? Does he push the right buttons that Rob Saleh pushed right away? Can he get the most out of these guys as Rob Saleh did? Like my best bet would be no. Rob Saleh is one of the best defensive coaches in the league. So I think there's a natural regression there in the first place. I think it's a stay away, but if you want to put your money on it, I would go under.
That's a very good point. I'm keeping over though. I'm gonna stick with it, but
all right. So we got two overs.
I guess I'm less confident in it.
I put a lot of value in coaching staffs. Maybe I shouldn't, but
no, you should definitely. I mean,
I think someone's got to push the buttons, right? You can put the guys in the right place though, and they can still mess up. So I guess it's negligible, but
all right, wrap it up, Sticky. Who we got last?
All right, we got the Seattle Seahawks. We have 10 wins on the total. 21st easiest schedule. They grabbed Dwayne Eskridge, a wide receiver, in the second round. The total at 10.
They grabbed somebody they don't need. They grabbed somebody
they don't need and somebody I've never heard of. So for that reason, I am going to go over. I don't know. I just think their offense is too high powered. I feel like Metcalf and Wilson just, I don't know, they click. And I feel like
it's really hard to score points when you have zero offensive line.
It's true, but they did it last year, and I'm pretty sure they surpassed 10 wins last year. I don't know. I just feel like this is one of those gut feel picks where you have to go over here on the Seahawks, but I don't really love it way too much. This whole division is pretty tough. The only things I'm really confident in, the only thing I'm confident in the West, the Waffles, are the LA Rams. That's about it.
Yeah, I agree there.
So last year the Seahawks won 12 games. The year before they won 11. The year before they won 10. So I think a line of 10 is pretty good. I actually think they probably go 10-7 this year. But I think Russell Wilson is good enough for an extra win to push me over. But I really, really, really don't want to say over. Because like Sam highlighted, their offensive line is kind of trash. They've been known to have running back issues. They've been known to not know if they're going to run the ball, if they're going to pass the ball, what their offense is designed to be. Their defense, who's on their defense now?
Jamal Adams,
Bobby Wagner,
Blitz boy,
Bobby Wags.
They just paid Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner. I mean, it's Seattle, and they're probably going to be due for a 9-10 win season. but oh God, I really want to say under, but I just think Russell Wilson's going to get him an extra win in crunch time. So, my God, I'll go over. I'll give him 11 wins this year. I really don't want to, but I'll give him 11.
I like the under.
I'm under as well.
I think they go under. I think Pete Carroll gets fired. Even if they go like 9-8, Pete Carroll's done. Russell Wilson's over it. They haven't, like the Giants, they haven't fixed their offensive line, despite them saying consistently they're going to fix it. They run the ball when they should pass the ball. They pass the ball when they should run the ball. Their defense is supreme ass. It's ugly in Seattle, right? And Russell Wilson will be going sleepless in Seattle until he gets out of there. Mm-hmm. I like the under. Russell Wilson's going to carry them to wins. I don't know if he carries them to another 12, And
it's just tough, man.
It's tough. It's tough.
10 is a really tough line.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Like, can Russell Wilson really alone win 11 games? No. Like, outside of Russell Wilson, and I mean, DK Metcalf is a dog. Like, he's great, but exactly, like everything Mano said, it's on. I think 9-8, 10-7 is their ceiling. Especially when they have 6 very tough games in division. Like, I know I'm not big on Arizona, but they're not a bad team by any means. I love San Fran and I love the Rams. So, and the rest of their schedule is not exactly a cakewalk. So, yeah, sorry. I feel like it's kind of going to be the beginning of the end for the Seattle. Don't want to say dynasty because they only won 1 Super Bowl, but should have won more. Should have won more, but it's another discussion.
Yep.
Lovely. I think that wraps us up. Take us home, Stick.
I'm already home.
All right, so we went through every single win total, all 32 teams. Split the AFC last week. If you guys missed the intro, which I don't know how you would have gotten to this point if you missed the intro, unless you really skipped ahead, which
respect, dude.
It works. I respect it. Yeah. So this has been the NFL or NFC conference win total episode. Next week
NFC conference, the National Football League, National Football Conference.
Yes, precisely what Sam said.
Sam, you got to trademark that. Let me tell you.
Say it again. Remember it?
The National Football Conference.
Yes,
the NFC
exactly. We're putting that on a T-shirt.
Is that what it even stands for? I don't even
National
know.
Football Conference. I had to look it up because I didn't know, and then I thought about it. I was like, "What is
the National Football Conference?"
American.
I thought about that with because you put on it was AFC Conference. I'm like, wait, conference. Yeah. Keep going. Sorry.
Okay. So next week we're going to be doing player props. We're going to be doing season awards, pretty much anything that is not a win total that is also considered something you can do in preseason.
Jameis Winston.
MVP.
Yeah, Sam's a big Jameis Winston fan. If you haven't,
you got to wrap it up now.
Great value.
But however, if you want to go find the AFC win totals, that's on our YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. This episode is available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. You're watching on one of them, so if maybe you didn't know the other 2 exist, but there you go. Next week, to find that episode, the props episode, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at capsON Sports. capsonsports.com is our website. We're going to be posting our podcast up there. That's where you can get the links. Hopefully we get some blogs up there, but that's kind of more slow moving than this. But yeah, that's pretty much it for myself, Nick Tobias, Sam Meehan, and Anthony Mano. We'll see you next week.